This is DMVSTREAM.COM, and you are in the Prep Zone. Happy holidays. I'm Sean Parker, along with David Dickerson from Hoop Kids, Hoop Elite, Justin Silberman from PressBox Online. Gentlemen, welcome to the Prep Zone.
Thank you.
Good to be here. We have got an exciting show. As always, we've got our game recaps. Roosevelt, Wise, Wakefield, Virginia Academy, H.D. Woodson, Coolidge, Stonebridge, Robinson, and Tuscarora, Chantilly. We're also going to go over the weekend rewind and the allmetsports.com weekly fast forward. And we'll also be previewing today Potomac, St. Albans, Langley, Woodbridge, and Josh Apple, our recruiting insider, had a talk with O'Connell's Aiko Adams. So we are going to jump into the Prep Zone here, but first we are going to take a little break, come back, and we are going to be discussing a whole bunch of stuff, but we're going to be taking a look at Georgetown football behind the scenes.
That's not easy to do. Even roll to your right is right.
Down three, ready to come out to 4. 1 and out to 4.
For men, Daniel Joe could go down with a right ankle injury. He kind of limped.
Flat, hold down. It'll be ready to Joe Jordan.
Terrible thing. Yeah, you did that. Pass rush. You know, they have to run the ball a ton. They have 69 receptions a year ago, and averages, he was unable to track that foot. You know, one of these many tackles for loss, guy who will be a rundown, and then this game tonight, they want to head back to Poughkeepsie at 500 as well. Yeah, absolutely. You got to be fundamentally sound when this defense gets out there. They just got to do it.
You're obviously a guy, a ball hawk back to.
It was a major point of emphasis for us. And also, we need to be a better third down situation.
So much spread. And there's finally a handoff.
Calhoun's going to get to the
This is DMVSTREAM.COM. This is the Prep Zone. Sean Parker along with David Dickerson and Justin Silberman. And we are going to jump right into the weekend rewind. Roosevelt and Wise. Justin, PG County battle. Looked like it was a good battle between the number one team in the area in Roosevelt and one of their rivals, an up-and-coming team in Prince George's County.
As you mentioned, two of the top teams in the area. A back and forth affair. Eleanor Roosevelt took it 53-51, and really one of the top performers, the guy who took this game over, Najee Marshall, just so impressive, 6'5" guard. I mean, he's kind of your do-it-all guard, 26 points, 8 rebounds, played lockdown defense on Michael Spate, Wise's best shooter, holding him to 3 points in the first half. And you talk about this game, Wise came back, played tough, took a 40-37 lead at one point, but Najee Marshall just too much, hitting 2 clutch free throws at the end of the ball game, 0.5 seconds left. You love to see that ice water in the veins up from perhaps one of the area's top players. And again, with Roosevelt getting so much from him, the thing about Wise is, you only have 2 players in Spate and Darren Barnes scoring 33 of the team's 51 points. That's kind of been an issue this season for Wise, is finding that secondary guy to aid those two. But still, hard-fought battle from 2 teams who we could see maybe later down the road hooking up in the playoffs.
Yeah, both of these teams touted as potential state final contenders. It's amazing. Wise has only been around a few years, but they have really just done a great job with that program as a whole. And as we see the top performer, you talked about him earlier, Najee Marshall, 26 points, 8 rebounds, game-winning free throws. It looks like Roosevelt's in good hands.
Yeah, I mean, he did it the night after, too, when they went up against St. Mary Rifkin's, hitting 2 late free throws, winning by the identical 53-51 score. So you like to see that from a team early on in the season, winning those close games, which is something that could help them down the road, especially down the stretch. To hit those, free throws is not an easy thing for these kids. So it's definitely something, a big aspect from this team.
All right, well, that was Roosevelt Wise. We hit the M in DMV. Now we're going to go over to the V, and we're going to talk about Wakefield and Virginia Academy. And David, Wakefield, number 2 team in the area, and looks like they had a pretty hard-fought battle on their own.
Yeah, Wakefield was able to get a 67-63 win out of a very good and almost maybe a new player in the area in Virginia Academy over in Ashburn. Just moved into the Capital Beltway Conference, but Wakefield remained undefeated with the win. Got a big performance out of Dang Niao, 17 points, and he got plenty of help with Jonathan Adams, who also had 17, and then they picked up another 13 points from Alan Teakle.
Good balance.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then another young player they have, Amari Cooper, had 6 rebounds to go along with his 9 points for the Vikings.
So what with Wakefield looking ahead for them? They're again number 2 team in the area. What are their prospects looking like going toward the states?
I would say pretty good, and of course it's really, really early. But they do look very good. This was an important win for them because outside of playing outside of the public ranks with a big front line that they were playing against, 6'10 and 6'11. In fact, the 6'11 kid, Quaidus Wahab, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, was a freshman. Big game out of Deng Niao. He really performed.
And we see right here, Deng Niao, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for the senior forward. And where do we know where he's going to be headed to school?
I don't right now. There's a lot of rumblings that it may be, and those may be changing. So I don't want to talk for him.
Inside scoop, holding it close to the vest.
Yeah, you don't want to talk for him. But tight game. Virginia Academy actually up 35-28 at the half, and then they had a 20-point explosion by Wakefield in the third quarter, and that changed the whole dynamic of the game.
All right, so Wakefield with the 67-63 victory over Virginia Academy. So we got the M, we got the V. Now we go to the D, the District of Columbia, H.D. Woodson and Coolidge. Tight battle right there. I'll tell you, these are the top 5 teams in the area, the top 3, definitely with some tight battles. 77-72 over Coolidge. Justin.
This game pretty much mirrored what H.D. Woodson's done all season. Another close battle. 5 of their 8 wins this season, I believe, have been by 5 or fewer points, so they found a way to close out games. Big turning point in this one was in the third quarter. H.D. Woodson went on a 30-17 run to really take control of the game, and you have to like the inside-outside combination of Daquan Washington and Kevin Montgomery combining for 50 of the 77 points. And Washington playing a lot bigger than his 5'8", 145-pound frame would suggest. And then with Montgomery, that's got to be one of the most lethal inside-outside combinations, as I mentioned before, in the area, and it's really getting it done for them so far to start the season.
I tell you, we've seen some, and I know this season I've seen some fearless guards in this area. They might not have the size, but they are not afraid to get inside and tangle with the tall trees.
Oh, not at all, and I guess that's part of the DC culture. Me being from Baltimore, we always have a chip on our shoulder, but the DC guys, they also play with that chip on their shoulder as well. I guess it's just a DMV thing.
Well, they do, and absolutely, with that chip on the shoulder, rising tide lifts all ships. So, if that's what it's going to take to elevate the game around here, hey, have at it. As we see right here, H.D. Woodson's top performer, Kayvon Montgomery, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists for the senior. Woodson right up there, and let's see if they can keep it going for the rest of the season. We are going to step away, take another break, and we're going to show you a conversation that our recruiting insider Josh Apple had with O'Connell's Aiko Adams, and I was able to catch up with Josh a little bit earlier to talk about it. Sean Parker along with DMVSTREAM.COM's recruiting insider Josh Apple. And Josh, earlier this week you had a conversation with O'Connell guard Aiko Adams, and tell me a little bit about that.
I spoke with Aiko about his strong performance last year as a junior, averaging 16.7 points per game, knocking down 66 threes, and being first team all WCAC. But this year, one of just 2 seniors on the team for O'Connell, he really has to be a leader. And here you see his stats this year, averaging in double figures through 5 games. And he's also a guy that's committed to play at Rice next year, so getting ready to go down to Texas here shortly.
All right, now we're going to take a look at Josh's interview with Aiko Adams.
I'm Josh Apple. I'm here with Aiko Adams, Bishop O'Connell point guard, and a future Rice basketball player. We're just getting started in the basketball season here, so give us a quick scouting report on O'Connell basketball.
O'Connell basketball, we're a young team. I think we're very talented. We got young players that's very good. We play hard, we scrap, and I think we could get it done at the end.
He says they're a young team, so going off of that, what's your role as a senior, one of just 2 seniors on the team this year?
My role is definitely just to be a leader to the young guys, push them hard, make sure they do what they got to do on the court and off the court, in the classroom too. So I have to just be a leader and a big brother to all of them.
Last year, first team all WCAC, 16.7 points per game, pretty impressive stuff from a junior. But this year, you're a senior. How do you follow up that performance and do just as well?
Just play my game. Don't change anything. Whatever's there. Take my open shots. Just get everybody involved. I'm not really looking over my points or nothing like that. So I'm just playing basketball.
And you guys play in the WCAC, which is one of the best conferences in the country, really. Teams like DeMatha and Paul VI, some really high-profile players. So what's it like playing against that competition every day?
It's tough. Everybody comes to play every day. It's a battle. Every team good. There's really no down teams in the WCAC. I mean, it's a dogfight every day. If you don't come to play, then somebody's gonna take over you.
You've committed to Rice. After this season, you'll be headed down to Texas. So what attracted you so much about the Rice program?
The coaches in the program are just a great program. Coach Rose, Coach Byers, who recruited me, just good guys on the court and off the court. They all about getting everybody better, and they all about winning. So, and Rice is a great school academically, top 20 in the nation. So I couldn't beat it.
And tell us the story about how you committed to Rice.
Actually, we was at a team dinner, and on my official visit, we was at a team dinner. Then we went back to the gym and got some shots up. And in my mind, I just felt it was the right place, so I FaceTimed Coach Rose, and I made it happen right there.
And what are you most looking forward to about playing college basketball? I mean, that's a big step up from the high school level, so what are you looking forward to there?
I'm just looking for the competition. It's the next level, so it's going to be tough. So I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be a battle, but I love the game, so it's going to be great.
And you're a really solid point guard. You have great penetration. You're a good shooter. You can create for your teammates. But is there anything you're looking to improve between now and by the time you step on campus at Rice?
Just being a better leader. Even when I come in as a freshman, I have to be a leader on the floor. Definitely just get faster overall and just get up to the speed of the college game.
All right, great. That's Aiko Adams, Bishop O'Connell point guard. Thanks for your time.
And that was our look at O'Connell guard Aiko Adams with our DMVSTREAM.COM recruiting insider, Josh Apple. Josh, thanks. I'm Sean Parker. This is DMVSTREAM.COM. This is the Prep Zone. Sean Parker, David Dickerson, Justin Silberman. You just saw a conversation that we had with Aiko Adams. We are going to move now back into our game reports, and we're going to jump right back in. David, Stonebridge Robinson. Stonebridge, number 4 team in the area. And what was that game like with Robinson?
Well, it was interesting for Robinson because I thought Robinson thought that they would come in there and have an easier time of it. They did not. Stonebridge got them 70-58. Stonebridge now 6-2. It was a really solid win for them with a big contribution from Colin Jokmowski. I get all the tough names today. Who was really a featured player for the game. Great performance for him. Brandon Curry added 15, and then John Bohannon, really good guard they have. over at Robinson. Secondary had 14.
70-58, Stonebridge over Robinson. Like you said, Colin Jakimowski, the player of the game. And for Stonebridge, with their style of play, how is that going to benefit them going forward?
Pretty good. They may get caught up in gambling because they like to step into the passing lanes, and sometimes that works against you. But they did a really good job with getting out on Robinson. Slow start this year too for them. They dropped their first two games out of the bat, and now 6-2. They're on a run. Going to be very difficult to get them, once they get going mid-season.
All right, Stonebridge 70-58 over Robinson, and now we're going to go over to another battle, another top 5 team in the area, Tuscarora and Chantilly. Justin, Tuscarora coming out with a 13-point victory.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it by the slow start they got off to, something that they haven't done much this year, but their ability to bounce back. Kyle Copeland leading the way with 20 points, his 5th 20-point effort of the season. And to start the second half, they really clamped down defensively on Chantilly, which has struggled this year to score. Only one game this year they've scored more than 60 points. So you like to see, Tuscarora kind of played Chantilly's game for the first half, a sloppy defensive effort, but their ability, like I mentioned before, to really, clamp down and turn up the pressure, and unleash Kyle Copeland was, the big difference in this one. And Tuscarora, like you said, off to a great start, 9-1 now, one of the best starts in school history.
Now you've seen with the 2 games that you have, the 3 games that you've gone over, Virginia, DC, Maryland. So far, which one do you think has the advantage?
Oh, it's so tough with these guys. I mean, you could go either which way, and I don't think you would be wrong, but what I've seen from H.D. Woodson, so I'll have to say DC. Just what H.D. Woodson's done to me is just so impressive. When you play so many tight games, you're bound to lose 1 or 2 of those, but just for them to come out and win every single one of those games so far this year, to me, that's the most impressive thing so far, so I'll take DC.
David, you're a DC guy. What do you say?
I'd probably have to go Maryland. When you look top to bottom at the not only the players and the coaches, you mentioned earlier, you talked about Eleanor Roosevelt. That foray is just absolutely loaded. Bowie's very good this year. Charles Herbert Flowers is very good this year. Of course, Eleanor Roosevelt. That fight for the top is going to be tough. I've seen HD. Relatively new program. As good as they've been, this is a new group, and so I probably would have to tap the door for Maryland.
All right, so we got 1 Maryland, we've got 1 DC, and we're not done here on the Prep Zone. Coming up next is going to be our AllMetSports.com weekly fast forward. But before we do, DMVSTREAM.COM has been partnering with Evolution Basketball Training, and today we are going to look at one of their training videos regarding the importance of finishing at the rim.
Jeremy Huber here with Alex Harris, co-founder of Evolution Basketball Training. Now talking about something that Alex was great at and I wasn't. It's finishing at the rim. Alex?
Thank you. Yeah, great is a compliment. I'll take it, considering we don't have any clips of me playing today. There's 2 kind of ways that I wanted to talk about briefly, just that are creative ways to finish around the rim. And in the day and age where right now, Euro steps and floaters have started to dominate the scene. I kind of want to go old school here and talk about a simple power hop, 2-footed power hop and a reverse layup. And those are things that have been used for years and years and effective. And with the power hop, which is just simply a jump stop, an aggressive jump stop attack in the rim, it gives you the ability to finish through contact while protecting the basketball, which is the key. Creating a nice, strong, wide base. I always like to say keep your chest squared up to the baseline, which forces the defense to come across your body to get to the ball. Kind of giving them the choice, foul me or let me score. And I like those 2 choices personally. Another way to think about it is get those big elbows up, make them come through your elbows. You know, nobody wants to get hit. And so just forcing them to decide, you know, do I want the contact? Do I want the foul? You know, you're protecting the basketball. It's a pretty easy way to score. The other thing is the reverse layup. Now, obviously, there's always times where the lane's clogged up. You need to use the other side of the rim. Using the other side of the rim, you know, help side defense might not be there. You've got the opening. I personally am a big fan of, you know, some people teach the reverse layup using both hands. I personally like to use the outside hand with the chest kind of squared up to the baseline. By doing that, you protect the basketball. You force the defense to, again, come through your body. You know, if you're going with the inside hand, it's not terrible. Sometimes you have to do it, but it opens up the ball, it exposes the basketball. So I prefer using that outside hand, getting to the opposite side of the rim and just stretching for it.
Some great advice there when it comes to finishing at the rim. Thank you much, Alex.
Thank you.
DMVSTREAM.COM and the Prep Zone, Sean Parker, David Dickerson, and Justin Silberman. And now it's time for the All-Met Sports.com weekly fast forward, one of my favorite parts of the show. And we've got 2 game previews this week. The first one, David, Langley and Woodbridge.
Langley Woodbridge, I think going to be a really good game. Langley's at 5-2. Woodbridge not doing as well so far this year, 2-4. Top performers for Langley, Nate Schaefer. 6'4" senior who's averaging about 15 points a game. He's very consistent as a scorer, but they're also getting big contributions from a sophomore guard that they have named Coulter Carlton, and he averages 8 points a game, and then a senior guard, Tavon Tarpley, who's getting about 11.5. Now Langley's been on this 5-game winning streak after losing their first 2 games of the season by close margins to Osborne and to Robinson. Now Langley, on the other hand, the 2 wins that they do have are are over Patriot, who has not been that strong this year, and Forest Park. So they've struggled for consistency, but they have a really good player, a big 6'4" guard, Ibrahim Kamara. And he's carrying a big load for them at both ends. He's averaging about 13 points and 6 rebounds. And I guess the graphic says 7. I counted 6. But Ibrahim, we're going to give you your extra points. They also have senior guard Cameron Robinson, and he's actually their leading scorer. He's averaging about 15 points a game, including the 31 he dropped 2 weeks ago versus Stonewall Jackson in Manassas. They've got also a couple other players that are contributing. Taylor Brederick and Kobe Washington, each doing 8 points a game. And Washington had, in the Patriot game, when they played Patriot High School, he'd had 7 threes that he dropped. So
wow.
So he was on fire. But
so
I don't.
Who are you taking in this one?
We're gonna go with Langley because I'm not sure that Woodbridge might have enough for this hot Langley team. This is a streak that they're on. I think they've righted the ship after this slow start that they had. So I'm gonna tap Langley in this one, but Woodbridge, I'm rooting for you.
All right.
Okay.
Well, he's got Langley. Justin, what about you? Who are you taking in this game?
I'm going to have to go with Langley, too.
All right. You know what? I think I'm going to go against the grain, and I don't know. I've got upsets on the mind for some reason. I'm going to pick Woodbridge.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Woodbridge in this one. All right, so let's see if if my intuition is right. We're going to move on to our second game preview, Potomac and St. Albans. Justin.
Potomac, off to an 8-0 start. St. Albans got off to a 7-0 start, falling on hard times of late, 3 straight losses. But look at Potomac, Devontae Bailey, last couple games, 3 double-digit point efforts, 25 points, season high for him. And this Potomac team is just firing on all cylinders offensively. 4 straight games with 80-plus points. I mean, they're an offensive juggernaut, and I just don't know if St. Albans has the firepower to stick with Potomac. But this is a chance for St. Albans to right the ship and get a marquee win. So to come out, take control of the game early would be big, and to stop that big Potomac front line is something that'll be critical in this game. And George Walker, double-double machine down in the low block, can definitely give the bigs for Potomac some trouble down there. As you see on the graphic, averaging almost 18 points, 12 rebounds a game. As I mentioned, again, a double-double machine.
That's pretty tough to stop right there.
It is, but with Devontae Bailey, the way he's been going the last couple of games, really came out of nowhere. Didn't have too many big marquee performances earlier in the season, but again, last couple of games has really come on and caught my eye for sure.
All right, so who have you got?
I'm going to have to go with Potomac here. I think the undefeated trend continues, but I think St. Albans will make it tight for a while.
All right, David, your pick.
I'm going to go upset. I'm going to go St. Albans. I'm gonna go with coaching, maybe catching Potomac different times, changing the way,
catching them, maybe at the right time with that 8-0 start,
and changing maybe the way they play, because they like to get up and down the floor. So if you can break that down and make them run more sets, it may be uncomfortable for them.
Okay, well, you know what? I made all that big deal about the upsets and picking Woodbridge in the first game, but I'm going chalk here. I'm going with Potomac. Going with the undefeated team with Devontae Bailey. I think they've just got a little bit too much. But yeah, so I'm going to go with Potomac on that one. We have another minute or so, and it's been a great year so far in 2015, closing out 2015 and looking ahead to 2016 as we see our DMVSTREAM.COM and the Washington Post top 10 rankings. DeMatha still at the top, St. John's number 2, Gonzaga, H.D. Woodson, National Christian rounding out the top 5. What have we got to look forward to in 2016? Give me one team that could be a sleeper team, and very quickly tell me why.
I'll start with Riverdale Baptist. You saw them there at number 10. Defensively, just looking at what they've been able to do, they held Wise to 28 points a couple of games ago. I mean, looking over their scores, they've held teams in the 30s, 40s. Defense wins, defense travels. So I like, I'm a defensive-minded kind of a guy, and, you clamp down defensively, you'll find a way to score, get the points in, and that's what Riverdale Baptist has done so far this year.
All right, David, 15 seconds. Give me a team and why.
Love Lou Wilson at Riverdale Baptist. I'm going to take somebody at the same conference. I'm going to take National Christian. Trevor Brown's done a great job. He has a really good team. Got a big win over API, and let's go with National Christian. Everybody, watch out for them.
All right. So there you go. There are your teams to look for. Sean Parker, David Dickerson, Justin Silberman. Happy holidays from everybody here at DMVSTREAM.COM. The Prep Zone is now closed.